Mega Man 11 was just released, and it's a nice game and is sold pretty well. So a sequel is lock! Mega Man 11 is good, but shows that the series needs some changes. Games like Shovel Knight and Shantae show these short, technical action platformers have a place. But Mega Man is $10 more than those games and has less content. You may have been thinking, it is too early to be talking about Mega Man 12. But it really is. It shows the amount of content is a problem. I don't want Mega Man to be a lower budget game though. The first thing they need to do is change the number of Robot Masters from 8 to 12 or ideally 16, with 2 castles or 1 long castle. This could also improve the pacing and balance of the game. Here's the opportunity I see with having more Robot Masters. There are only 4, possibly 8 levels that all have a difficulty on the lower end of the Mega Man difficulty spectrum. Once you complete these starter stages, the main 8 Robot Masters can be selected, and you will have all staple Rush abilities like Coil, Jet, and Marine. Meaning the main 8 stages can have a difficulty that is on the higher end of the Mega Man spectrum, closer to castle stages at times. And what some of Mega Man 11's stages aimed for. But no spiky hallways or towers. One option if there are 16 Robot Masters is to just have 12 main stages, or to have 4 pre-castle stages. Personally, I think 8 starters or 12 main stages is a better choice though. You may be thinking this would water down the quality of Robot Masters even faster, but it wouldn't, necessarily. These additional Robot Masters could be returning classics. With all new stage layouts, expanded or reimagined stage gimmicks, and some new attacks in addition to a recreation of their iconic patterns. All of these Robot Masters would give you their ability like usual. Because of this, you would have 2 circles of weaknesses, but all bosses would have a mandatory secondary weakness from the opposite weakness circle. The other change is that levels need to be shorter or lives need to be done away with. Mega Man 11 has stage lengths comparable to Mega Man 8, which actually has 2 stages per Robot Master, and that would work. However, I would much prefer something closer to Shovel Knight with frequent checkpoints and no lives. This allows the game to be more difficult without ever being frustrating or tedious. Torchman's stage would have been less tedious without lives. So Mega Man 12 needs to join the pantheon of liveless games, with long levels like 11 had, or have the main Robot Masters have 2 stages to create a harder checkpoint. Something I want is to have a customizable difficulty option, because I want to play on normal or superhero, but I want unlimited lives. And honestly, I'd like to see Spikes do all but 1 point of damage. It would be way more interesting to have to continue at risk of being killed by anything than to just be instantly killed by spikes. The mistake of hitting a spike would instead make the game more thrilling. Allowing difficulty customization would greatly benefit players who fall outside of being an idiot, and being a difficulty whore who wants to feel better about themselves by telling others to get good. Also, auto-charging should just be a standard of convenience. If you are using the Buster, you're going to be charging anyway. Auto-charge just makes playing the game less uncomfortable on your hands. Ditch the bolt system. I think few will argue that Mega Man 4-8 did not have the best level design, and a big part of that was that the levels had branches and hidden items. It was exciting to take the plunge down that very suspicious pit for a secret power-up, or continue past the obvious way forward through a more challenging quicksand section, or to find Proto Man who gives you the energy balancer, rather than just purchasing all the things in a shop. Mega Man 8 had its cake and ate it too, by instead hiding bolts throughout the levels as challenges similar to stars in Super Mario 64. And you could exchange this finite number of bolts for power-ups encouraging you to collect them all. Either one is better than having bolts as random drops, and having you just buy all this stuff and go through completely linear levels. If the system returns yet again, a simple improvement is to have things hidden in the levels, and once you collect them, you can upgrade their effect with bolts. That would be another way to have your cake and eat it too. Just don't make upgrades feel so empty and soulless. Do you agree, or do you have your own desired changes? Let's have a real discussion as a fan community. So share this video if you know other Mega Man fans who might find this an interesting topic to talk about.